Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and you are tuned into the first edition of the RHTV podcast. I am your host, Reggie Haynes, and today I have two phenomenal guests. And I know I use that word a lot, but today I really mean that. And the first guest is Queen Edwina. She is a certified nurse. She is a grassroots activist. She is a woman who really doesn't need any introduction, but if you are in the UK, you know all about her. She's doing phenomenal works when it comes in regards to entrepreneurship with our people, helping our people build their brands and their businesses around the globe in the African community. And one of her business partners happens to be King, Elder, and Brother Kwame. Brother Kwame is located in Tanzania, but he does so much phenomenal work in the UK as well. He is an entrepreneur himself. He is also a historian, and he is also a teacher, a certified teacher who does a great job of teaching our youths and our people the true African story that we all need to know in order to progress. Before I introduce the guest with the first topic today, because today we're going to talk about African unity, I want to open the floor up to Queen Edwina to do libations. Queen Edwina, please, the floor is yours.
Yes, give thanks, Brother Reggie. It's an absolute honour to be on your platform, and I give thanks. So the libation is in honour of our ancestors, our fathers of our fathers, our mothers of our mothers, the children and their children, far and near, from the north, south, east and west, to bear witness to what we have done, and by their example to continue to inspire us forward, radiating their great wisdom, courage, dedication, and unyielding commitment to victory by any means necessary, and reclaiming our greatness as a people for our esteemed ancestors who have suffered the atrocities and horrors of our Mangamese, which is the African genocide, and yet they demonstrated the various powers of the African spirit against adversity by maintaining their dignity no matter the cost. We are not here to fight flesh and blood, but to remove spiritual wickedness in higher and lower places, and to regenerate our African minds and liberate our homeland. And those ancestors who survived and made it possible for us to be here today to continue on their valiant struggle for African liberation, free our race from all adversities, and continue to imprint upon the world the genius of African humanity. May their African spirit engulf the occasion to reaffirm our African unity. Let our ancestors' spirit rise. Give thanks.
Give thanks. Thank you so much, Queen Edwina. That was powerful. And for those who didn't notice, we had some technical difficulties, but Queen Edwina was dedicating that last point to our youth, letting the ancestor spirituality rise through our youth. So Queen Edwina, thank you so much for that phenomenal libation. You all are tuned in to the RHTV podcast, the first episode, and we are here with the Honorable Queen Edwina and King Kwame. When we come back, we are going to talk about our first pinpoint problem and have our solutions brought to you in part by our special guest here right after these messages. So you all stay tuned, and we'll be right back after our sponsor break. Thank you. Reggie Haynes here, and I had a few seconds to talk about a new brand called Art of the Covenant. Well, it's not really new, but it's new to you if you're listening for the first time. Art of the Covenant, sponsored in part by Queen Edwina and King Kwame. They bring historical facts and evidence that proves that the original people are African, melanated, and as they say in the West, black. So do whatever you can to support Art of the Covenant, and you won't regret it. Peace. And we're back on the RHTV podcast. And I want to thank all the listeners who have heard our phenomenal libation in our first segment by the Honorable Queen Edwina. Now we're going to get to our first topic. Today's main topic is African unity. And one of the pinpoints that we have is colonialism. Now, we are gentlemen, so I'm going to let Queen Edwina speak on what she believes colonialism brings to our demise in regards to African people and her solution, and then we're going to go to Brother Kwame. Queen Edwina, the floor is yours, Queen.
Yes, so the topic we're going to talk about today is colonialism and neocolonialism and white supremacy. So what happened initially? Africa, the continent, was basically sliced up in an agreement with the British government and Western governments, Italy, America, Britain, France, Portugal. Back in 1844, they held a conference in which they literally sliced up Africa into different areas, different countries. That was in 1844. And they sliced up the continent, and they very coldly and brutally decided that certain parts of this slice meant that they owned certain parts. So Italy felt that they owned what we now call Ethiopia. Belgium decided they wanted areas, Angola, Namibia. The Dutch, they decided they would have South Africa. The British claimed Ghana and Kenya. And the French claimed what we know now as Mali, Senegal. And this is their mentality. They decided through their white supremacy that they would own and control the continent by murder, torture, and slavery, and decide to treat our people in the most barbaric ways to justify the murder and slaughter of our people over these centuries from 1845 to today. And it's only in the 60s that we started to look at independence from these colonial nations. And for me, the absolute audacity of their beliefs that they can just come and do what they want to a people, a friendly, loving people, and impose their barbaric behaviour towards us, despite our caring and loving and friendly nature towards them, is absolutely disgusting and unforgivable.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You all have heard it here first. We're going to continue with Queen Edwina's standpoints on colonialism when we come back. You all stay tuned on the RHTV podcast. Reggie Haynes here, and I had a few seconds to talk about a new brand called Art of the Covenant. Well, it's not really new, but it's new to you if you're listening for the first time. Art of the Covenant, sponsored in part by Queen Edwina and King Kwame. They bring historical facts and evidence that proves that the original people are African, melanated, and as they say in the West, black. So do whatever you can to support Art of the Covenant, and you won't regret it. Peace. And we're back on the RHTV podcast. Now, we've started off with libations from Queen Edwina, and Queen Edwina has stated her take on colonialism. And we're going to bring things over to Elder King, Brother Kwame. Brother Kwame, good to have you on the show today, sir. How are you feeling?
I'm good, and I appreciate you inviting us on the show. Yeah, it's an honor.
The honor and the pleasure is all mine, King Kwame. Now, when it comes in regards to colonialism and African unity, what are your takes on that, sir?
Yeah, colonialism, neocolonialism, which is the modern form of colonialism, and then what's generally called white supremacy, or the idea of Europe or European people being seen as supreme, if you like. This is a big one because it's infecting all our institutions. I'm hearing some background noise there.
Oh, I'm sorry, they're doing construction, Brother Kwame. But yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you loud and clear.
All right, okay. Yeah, so because the thing is, many times when we ask about the problems of African unity, people will always go to the leaders. And the leaders, I'm not saying they're devoid of blame, but this colonialism infection, it affects everything we do. So it has to be called out for what it is. And the big culprits, again, have to be called out. And we have to talk about America and the UK, because through their organizations like CIA, MI5, FBI, these people have a history of infiltrating our organizations and killing, as Bob Marley says, killing our prophets. So when we talk about Kwame Nkrumah, Patrice Lumumba, sorry, not Nkrumah because he wasn't killed, but Patrice Lumumba, Samora Machel, African American brothers like Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, the Black Panthers, even Bob Marley, and we know the modern day we have what they did to Gaddafi. This is all colonialism, neocolonialism, and so-called white supremacy. This is them showing what they can do almost without taking any kind of responsibility for it. They're just without impunity. So yes, our leaders have to take the blame. They have to take some blame. But there was also a book called, it was by somebody called John Perkins, and it was called Confessions of an Economic Hitman. And he talked about how he was paid as an economic hitman. He was paid by, whether it's the FBI or CIA, he was paid to go into countries back in the day, in the 70s, 80s, maybe even the 60s, go in and talk to leaders, talk to many of our African leaders. It also went on in South America. Talk to our African leaders and basically say to them, you have resources that our government have identified. We want those resources. So either you give us them, you allow us free rein to those resources, or we will fund coups against you, or inevitably, if the coup is not successful, we will take you out. And when we say take you out, we're not saying take you out to dinner. We're talking about killing you. So what will say, and again, when I say these things, I'm not saying for people just to believe me. In fact, don't believe me. Go and do your research. But look at a book called Confessions of an Economic Hitman, John Perkins, and it's even an old book now. I think it's been going for some years, probably over 5 years. So there's evidence there. There's evidence in other fields as well, but that's an ideal one. There's even YouTube videos, excerpts from the book. He goes around making these talks. You see? So yes, our leaders have to take responsibility, but we have to remember there's fingers in all kind of pies going on, you know, the fingers of manipulation of our governments. So sometimes when we're saying, why is our government allowing the UK or America, the US, to dictate policies, a lot of times it's because they know if they don't allow those countries to dictate, they can be killed. So I think it's important to state that. It might be not sugar-coated, but the thing is, these are facts. So, because a lot of times, you know, we hear people just unnecessarily blaming our leaders. And as I say, I keep saying they're not without responsibility, but sometimes their hands are tied. So we have to be aware of that.
And you speak on that. You speak on that, King Kwame. My question is to you. Well, we're gonna come back to you, Brother Kwame, if you don't mind. Queen Edwina, we've talked about the problem. What do you think is the solution, Queen Edwina, to colonialism?
Well, the biggest solution is we need our people in our organizations. We need trusted people in our organizations, heading our organizations. There's a whole movement called the decolonization movement. It's where we talk about decolonializing education, decolonializing institutions of learning in the media. This is the kind of thing that needs to happen. We need to decolonialize many of these institutions, these organizations, and that can only happen by getting conscious people in those places. But the fact of the matter is, we're always going to have the enemy within our organizations. They will always be there, but we have to put safeguards into place.
And when you say safeguards, Brother Kwame, what safeguards are you referring to?
In a way, it's like when we do our constitutions for our organizations, we have to do them as if we are sitting down with our enemy. So in other words, as long as we can recognize that our enemy is within us, then our policies are going to reflect that. You see? Whereas if we're ignorant to it, you know, we'll act as if, well, we're all friends here, so there's no problem here, and we weaken ourselves. We let ourselves open to infiltration. Whereas once we acknowledge that our enemy is amongst us, then we kind of tighten our laws, tighten our precautions, if you like.
Beautifully said, King Kwame. Thank you so much for that. You all are tuned into the RHTV podcast. We are going to come back after these commercial breaks, and we're going to get Queen Edwina's solutions when it comes in regards to colonialism. You all stay tuned. Reggie Haynes here, and I had a few seconds to talk about a new brand called Art of the Covenant. Well, it's not really new, but it's new to you if you're listening for the first time. Art of the Covenant, sponsored in part by Queen Edwina and King Kwame. They bring historical facts and evidence that proves that the original people are African, melanated, and as they say in the West, black. So, do whatever you can to support Art of the Covenant, and you won't regret it. Peace. And we're back on the RHTV podcast. I have two phenomenal guests, Queen Edwina and Brother Kwame. Now, we just heard Brother Kwame's perspectives in regards to the solutions and also the problems with colonialism. Now we're going to take it over to Queen Edwina. Queen Edwina, what do you feel like the solutions to colonialism is, ma'am?
Well, the solution to neocolonialism is for us as black people. I'm talking about everybody on the African continent. I am talking about everybody within the Caribbean, and also us in the diaspora. And don't forget how we became the diaspora, which is through our ancestors' enslavement and the kidnapping of millions of Africans from Africa, which the knock-on effect was that there was a brain drain from the continent of Africans, which obviously has an impact on the development, the natural development of the continent. So think, if you withdraw millions of people from a country, from a continent, that knock-on effect is that that place is not going to develop as it should naturally. And don't forget, our ancestors were kidnapped from the continent and taken to the Caribbean, taken to South America, taken to North America to work for no money, for no payment, for 400 years, which built up the Western economy. And Britain plays its part in that as well, because black people were used to build up Britain, build up the wealth. The black people, our ancestors, African ancestors, were made to work on the plantations in South America, in North America, which a lot of these plantations were owned by British people. And that is how Britain became wealthy, one of the wealthiest countries in the world, from the illegal, morally and ethically illegal backs of our ancestors. So for neocolonialism to end, we have the Organization of African Unity, which is an intergovernmental organization which was established in May 1963 in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. And it was the Emperor, the Most High Haile Selassie, without any apology, our God and our King, who established the African Unity, the Organization of African Unity. And so it really should be the Organization of African Unity to work with CARICOM, which is a amalgamation of the Caribbean islands, all the countries in the Caribbean islands where there is a great resource of black people. And it's for them, two organizations, to start to work together to overcome this neocolonialism and colonialism effect and attitude upon us. And then for us in the diaspora, which what we're doing is chanting down Babylon, and we are seeing the systematic downfall of Britain and America currently, because what we're witnessing is the fall of America, the fall of the West. And this is our opportunity to work together to build up our nation. BRICS is the coming together of nations such as Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. So they want to establish, rather than the dollar being the main currency in the world, they want to establish their own currency and work together. Because as we can see, America is on the downfall. Britain's already fallen. Britain has this idea that it somehow has high standing in the world. Well, let me tell you, Britain has no diamond mines. Britain has no gold mines. Everything that Britain has, it has stolen from Africa and other parts of the world. Everything. There's nothing on this island of any worth. Britain has an illusion, quite a delusion, if you like, but they run things with America, and that's just not true. It's a confidence trick. Africa is very, very powerful. The world needs Africa. Africa doesn't need the world. The Congo itself can generate enough energy to power the whole continent. The Congo itself can feed the whole continent. The Congo has lithium, cobalt, copper, rubber, gold mines, African gold mines, diamond mines. The Congo is a resource of wealth, so abundant. That is why they keep the Congo destabilized. And the Congo itself is a wealth of mineral resources. And the Almighty himself put the Congo in Africa. And we need to control those resources for us, for our people, for the African people. So the actual controlling of this has to be done by conscious Africans who want to build up every African person. Because of what we've been through, our eyes need to be opened because we've been sleeping. We need to rise up. It's like our ancestor, the Right Honourable Marcus Mosiah Garvey said, "Rise ye mighty race." We have to use our talents. We have to use what we have learned. I'm talking about the diaspora now. Use what we have learned in the West to come home to Africa or wherever we are on the continent and use our talents for the benefit of our people and our next generations. So this kind of attitude, a Pan-African attitude, can help to build our continent. And intellectuals such as Dr. Arikana, who was the president of the African Unity Organization, PLO Lumumba from Kenya, Bishop Joshua Maponga from Zimbabwe, Julius Malema, South Africa. These are our intellectuals who we need to listen to because they have got the right attitude of African unity.
Queen Edwina. I'm going to add two more people to that list, Queen Edwina and King Kwame. So I was listening to Brother Kwame, and there were some inserts that were done by him. So I've been listening to Brother Kwame through different platforms, whether it be Galaxy Radio or Auntie Jean's platform. And the knowledge that they are presenting to me, when it comes in regards from a youthful standpoint, they're telling us to rise up. They're telling us to wake up. And they're telling us to be the best we that we can be and realize how phenomenal us as melanated African, or as they say in the West, black people, as we are. We are the most phenomenal beings in the universe. And we should treat ourselves and each other accordingly. Because if we don't, we're going to continue to have these conversations to where we are still in a situation to where the people outside of our race seem as if they're rising when they shouldn't be at all. So I just wanted to thank Queen Edwina and Brother Kwame for coming on. In closing, what we're going to do for our first episode, Brother Kwame, what are your final words to all of the listeners out there right now, Brother Kwame, based off of the topics today or just in general, sir? The floor is yours.
Well, I would say one of the keys to our liberation, probably one of the most important keys, is our youth. And as we've seen in Kenya with Gen Z, as we've seen like our young leader there in Burkina Faso, the youth are not standing by like many of our generations before. The youth are not standing by. The youth are doing whatever is necessary. And that's what it takes. But the elders, they can impart their wisdom, and then with the energy of youth, those combined forces, as Queen Edwina said, there's nothing that can stop us. But that's what it needs, that coming together, the youth and the wisdom of the elders. That's what we need. Yeah.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Queen Edwina, your final thoughts, your final words, ma'am?
My final thoughts are for us to listen to, find out about our African heroes and sheroes, and a lot of them come out of America. I'm talking about the great Harriet Tubman. I'm talking about Sojourner Truth, Nina Simone, Coretta Scott King, Dr. Betty Shabazz, Puma Jones, Nichelle Nichols. There's a vast amount of wealth, talent that we have untapped. Read about your heroes and your sheroes and let our ancestors guide you to where you need to be. Ignorance is no longer an excuse. We have the internet now. Look up these people. I'm talking about Amy Jacks Garvey, Amy Ashwood, who are the two wives of the Most Honourable Marcus Mosiah Garvey. We can do it. And we are doing it as a people. We just need more effort, conscious effort. So let us go forward, the whole nation, the African nation, and let us be where we need to be at this time. One love.
One love, one love. Thank you so much, Queen Edwina. We really appreciate that wise counsel as always. And that was Queen Edwina with her final thoughts on our topic today of African unity. Now, I want to give a special thanks to both you, Queen Edwina, and Brother Kwame. You all have definitely enlightened me when it comes in regards to the historical facts, different locations within Africa where there are a lot of treasured resources that are helping not just the world but this universe function, and also about unity and how us as youth can definitely be that focal point in regards to helping our people progress in life. I want to say it's been a tremendous honor, and I'm not just saying that because you both are here. It's been a tremendous honor having you all on this platform, and I know you all will be back because you all think this is Reggie's show. No, this is Queen Edwina and King Kwame's show. And I say that to say this. They have done phenomenal works around Africa. They have saved my life over millions of times, whether they know it or not. And I know they're doing the same for others out there. So for those that want to contact you, Queen Edwina, or support your brands, please let us know what your brand names are, and also how to get in contact with you if anybody needs to collaborate with you, wants to collaborate with you, etc., etc.
Yes, our brand is called Art of the Covenant. And we are based in Leeds, which is West Yorkshire, in the United Kingdom, or England. And the Art of the Covenant is obviously the carriage that was used to place the 10 Commandments in, which was given to Moses from the Almighty. It is repudiated that, or reported that the Art of the Covenant currently is in a place within Ethiopia called Lalibela, and it is guarded by monks there. So it is a real artifact that comes from a real God, our God. And that's where we get the name from, Art of the Covenant. The actual artifact is called the Ark of the Covenant. So you can contact us via email at Art of the Covenant. That's ARTOFTHE Covenant, COVENANT at hotmail.com. And we look forward to hearing from everybody. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Brother Kwame, if people want to reach out to you, sir, or support any of the works that you're doing, how do they contact you? How do they reach you, sir?
Yeah, but the same way we're in a joint company, so yeah, it's the same Art of the Covenant. Yeah, I mean, people could also get me on KwameGuard33 at hotmail.com, but through Art of the Covenant is fine. That's our joint business. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well, I want to thank you both again for being a part of the first edition of the RHTV podcast. It's a tremendous honor, and I know you all will be back soon. For all those listeners out there who have tuned in to this phenomenal episode, I want to say thank you and look forward to hearing from us in the future. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for supporting. This is Reggie Haynes, and I'm signing off. Peace.